Hello CGI U 2022.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
I am Andrew Gambri from Seattle University in Washington.
Hi, I'm Divas Adhikari from Nepal.
Hi everyone, my name is Alondrina Gonzalez from Miami-Dade College in Florida, United States.
My name is Tara Goins and I'm a student at California State University Northridge in California.
Hi, my name is Chandu Choswa. I go to Dartmouth College in the US.
My commitment to action is finding a sustainable solution to menstrual poverty in Uganda.
My commitment to action is healing humans and nature through the development of environmentally eco-sustainable activities in indigenous communities.
Taking action together.
Taking action together.
Taking action together is important because after all, unity is strength.
It is in unity that we will find comprehensive and diverse solutions.
Being part of a community and dedicating ourselves to greater causes is something that defines us as human beings.
And it's only by working together that we can address big interdisciplinary problems like climate change.
It brings together diverse ideas, perspectives, and talents, elevating our individual impacts and helping us to collectively create a better world.
It's important to listen to different voices, to amplify different movements, and to be together in this very difficult moment of the pandemic, to imagine a new world, to be dreaming about a new world.
My dream for the future is a future in which there is no war.
To make addiction less stigmatized and to make treatment much more accessible.
My dream for the future is to have a place where we can have stronger interconnectedness as a community.
Every young girl is able to picture themselves in whatever career that they want to do and really see how they can make their impact on society.
To live in a world where there is no inequality, no discrimination, no war.
Respect for people's uniqueness, their differences, and their individuality.
Give equal opportunities to everyone, to think as a community, and to tell everyone you belong to our dream.
I want to do this through hard work and in collaboration with others because this is the only way we can make this possible.
Hello and welcome to the virtual convening of the Clinton Global Initiative University, hosted by the nation's community colleges. On behalf of the American Association of Community Colleges, I would like to thank President Clinton and Dr. Chelsea Clinton for allowing us to be a part of this important work. We are honored to be a part of CGI U and look forward to participating in this year's events. Like CGI U, our community colleges work to inspire the next generation of student leaders. As a partner, we are proud to showcase our 1,042 colleges and 10 million students. We believe that success in higher education is a critical need in today's global economy. Community colleges are the on-ramp to higher education for millions of Americans, offering affordable and accessible classes that are close to home. By design, community colleges reflect the needs of their local communities, offering traditional college coursework as well as workforce development classes that teach the skills that are relevant in today's job market. Like our colleges, as a CGI U participant, you are developing programs and solutions to meet the needs of your global communities. You are taking on a great responsibility to tackle some of the challenges that we face today. It can feel daunting to even those of us that have many years of leadership experience, but I have seen firsthand the dynamic and innovative solutions that students can develop when they have the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and advance solutions in today's issues. It is inspiring, and I assure you that we learn as much from you as you learn by participating in CGI U. As you convene this global meeting, I encourage you to connect with those that you may not encounter in your daily lives. You will have access to topic experts and innovators that recognize and value your contributions to better our communities, our country, and our world. You will be richer for engaging with them and with each other. The future can happen to you or happen because of you. This meeting is only the beginning of your commitment to leadership and action. I am positive that you will gain much from this experience, and I know that our communities will gain even more from the work you are beginning today. Thank you for your participation in CGI U, and I very much look forward to reaping the benefits of what you will create together.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 CGI U annual meeting. I am so excited about our program, and I certainly hope all of you are as well. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge and thank a few people who made this meeting possible. I first want to thank Dr. Bumphus, Dr. Parham, and Dr. Royal from the American Association of Community Colleges. We are so thrilled to be in partnership with the AACC as kind of co-hosts of this virtual meeting. And we are very hopeful that this is just the beginning of our partnership to continue to ensure that community college students and their institutions have increased and robust representation at CGI U and throughout the CGI U community. I also just really want to thank the CGI U team. I know even more than 2 years into COVID-19 with lots of experience organizing virtual events, there's still hugely team efforts. And I just want to thank everyone who's worked so tirelessly, most of whom you won't get the chance to see over the course of the meeting. So I hope that you can join me in a very sincere, albeit kind of quiet round of applause. I also want to thank Samaritan. We got asked in Too Small to Fail for providing service opportunities for our days of action in the weeks leading up to this meeting. Over and over again, we have heard how important it is to the CGI U community to be able to find ways to interact with one another, to be together in physical space or in virtual space, and especially to be together in service. So I really want to thank everyone who made these volunteer opportunities possible and then made them the incredible experiences that I know that they were. And finally, I just want to thank all of the CGI U alums who helped us think through kind of what we should be focusing on this meeting, helped us plan this meeting or participating in the meeting, you know, as speakers, as workshop leaders, as session moderators, as mentors for students. I want to encourage anyone who may kind of feel a particular resonance with an alum to please reach out. I am confident they will be happy to hear from you. And certainly we are so thankful to all of you, to all the students who are joining our CGI U community. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce 3 members of the CGI U community who demonstrate so powerfully the intersection of passion and determination that I think is really characteristic of CGI U students and alums. They're going to provide updates on their amazing and important commitments to action, and I can't wait to hear from them all. Thank you so much for being with us over the next days and hopefully over the many years ahead as part of the CGI U community. Thank you all so much.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Regg.
And I'm Michael Evans.
We are graduates from North Carolina State University, CGI U class of 2018 alums, and the co-founders of 321 Coffee.
80% of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities are unemployed, and we're here to change that. 321 Coffee is a coffee shop and roaster here in Raleigh, North Carolina that is based on building a more inclusive workforce. We currently employ over 30 individuals with disabilities. They're the ones roasting the coffee, serving the drinks as baristas in the shops, speaking on behalf of the organization. They do it all.
In 2018, when we were part of CGI U, we had just opened our first location at the State Farmers Market here in Raleigh. Since then, we're proud to say that we've grown a lot. We started roasting our own coffee, and last year we roasted over 8,000 pounds of coffee. This year, we've been voted the best coffee shop in Raleigh. We've opened another shop in a software company's headquarters, Pendo, and we are about to open our first standalone shop right in the heart of downtown Raleigh, and we've got more to come.
Beyond that, we're proud to have grown a team that stands for doing business the right way.
Thanks, y'all, and I hope you have a great conference.
I'm Eddie Alvarado, a graduate from Universidad Autónoma de Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic and a CGI U 2020 alum. I started Agro360 to increase the productivity and climate change resilience of small-scale farmers. An estimate of 40% of food production is lost to diseases that affect farms, with decreased agricultural productivity resulting in millions around the world suffering from chronic hunger and malnutrition. Agro360 is an affordable technology solution that uses artificial intelligence and real-time environmental sensors to predict the appearance of diseases in farms and help farmers use less resources like water. We've been able to deploy Agro360 on 300 farms in rural Dominican Republic, employ 30 installers, increase agricultural productivity by an average of 26% while reducing the use of agrochemicals and pesticides by 39%. Then to the impact and growth of Agro360, we have been featured in publications such as the Forbes magazines, the Project Management Institute, and the MIT Technology Review as one of the most promising social impact projects. But those are not our greatest accomplishments. Being able to work in an initiative that impacts the most vulnerable in the food supply chains, transforming their life and helping accomplish food security in those communities, those are our greatest accomplishments. This is just the beginning. As climate change continues to affect the world food supply, we plan to expand our model globally.
Hi, my name is Megan Rosenberger. I'm a 2015 Clinton Global Initiative alum and current CGI U mentor. I graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy and serve as a naval officer, and my passion is the environment. According to the EPA, when our waterways are polluted, it affects not just wildlife and the need to have clean water for recreation, but the essentialness that we need in our communities for safe and secure drinking water. In 2015, I launched my commitment to action, Barrels by the Bay, into a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to educate students about our world's water resources through rain barrels. By combining environmental education and rain barrel installation, we have worked with over 20,000 participants installing nearly 1,000 rain barrels since our founding. It doesn't stop there. I urge you all to join my commitment and make it a point to care about your local water resources. Reach out if you need mentoring support throughout the year, and welcome to the CGI U community.
Hello, and thanks to all of you for joining us for the CGI U 2022 annual meeting. I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude to President Bumphus and the entire American Association of Community Colleges for serving as our virtual host campus. Community colleges are one of the great cornerstones of America's education system and our economy. And I am very proud to be partnering with the AACC and the nearly 12 million students it represents. I'd also like to thank each and every one of you from the CGI U class of 2022 for coming together to take action on some of today's most urgent challenges. This class represents more than 200 schools and 70 nations. I thank you for more than 300 commitments to action you've made, and I'm grateful that in addition to fulfilling these projects, you're still looking to do even more. We need your energy, your action, your creative cooperation. We need them urgently. While we've made significant progress in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, Deep inequities still exist around the world in access to vaccine and care. Here in the U.S., the pandemic also has ripped off the cover of long-standing disparities and injustices in virtually every aspect of American life. Meanwhile, the existential threat of climate change continues to grow, and democracy is under assault all around the world, of course, most painfully and glaringly in Ukraine. The number of displaced people and refugees worldwide is higher than it's ever been and rising. And it seems that all across the globe, people are pulling away from those who are different, putting our future at greater risk and making it harder and harder to solve the challenges and seize the opportunities right in front of us. In the face of this growing wave of divisive tribalism, you offer one of the best examples for how I think our world ought to work, rooted in what I would call inclusive tribalism. You come from all around the world. You represent different schools and just about every demographic distinction you can think of. You're proud of the specific schools you attend and the parts of your identity that make you the unique person you are. But the fact that we're proud of who we are doesn't mean we can't come together as a larger community focused on turning ideas into action for the greater good. That's inclusive tribalism. We all have unique perspectives. We all have something different we bring to the table. What we have in common is that each of us can make a difference in the lives of people in our community and around the world. And because of that ability to make a difference, we each have a responsibility to act, to make good things happen, and to do it together. While the challenges our world faces today are quite steep, CGI U has always been about what we can do, not what we can't do. By bringing diverse partners together to take action and achieve results, we can create a culture of possibility in a world hungry for hope. In this moment of both peril and promise, your generation can be the engine of profound transformation, but it will take hard work, determination, cooperation, and innovation. I believe you'll rise to the challenge, and I'm looking forward to an inspiring meeting.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in for this really important conversation. Community colleges are close to my heart, and at CGI U, we have seen their power in preparing the leaders of tomorrow to tackle our biggest challenges. And there is a leader who knows a lot about the importance of community colleges, and that is Dr. Jill Biden. Dr. Biden, or as her students like to call her, Dr. B, has spent her entire career in the classroom, teaching high school and then community college students. She continued teaching even as she became Second Lady and then First Lady of the United States. And today she teaches English at the Alexandria, Virginia campus of Northern Virginia Community College, just outside Washington, D.C. When we were thinking about who we would dream of having at this CGI U, we could think of no one better to talk about the role community colleges play in equipping students from all walks of life with the skills and opportunities they need. So I'm going to start by asking Dr. Biden, you've been a community college professor for almost 30 years now.
More, probably.
Even more. And you said that when you moved from teaching at a high school to Deltech, something clicked for you. And you've continued teaching the whole time that your husband, President Biden, has been in public service. So what is it about this job, Dr. Biden, that is so special to you?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today, Hillary. And you and Bill and Chelsea are doing such great work here at CGI. But I was especially excited to learn that this year you were partnering with an organization that I really work with for so many years, the American Association of Community Colleges. And I used to call community colleges America's best kept secret. But with organizations like yours and AACU shining a light on all the incredible ways they serve students, the secret is now out. But to your question, you know, I had been teaching high school English, I guess, for, I don't know, maybe 13 years. And one of my colleagues left to go teach at a community college and called me up and said, Jill, this is the best thing ever. You've got to come teach at community college. So I waited until there was a job opening, and then I applied and got the job. And then I have to tell you, Hillary, I mean, I went, and Del Tech, where I started, was different than anything I had done before because it was the first time that I had taught adults. So many of my students, as you well know, were working, some had children, some were taking care of their parents. So when we talked about literature, they had, you know, so many life experiences. They talked about their travel, their jobs, their families. And, you know, my life was a little different than theirs, but I saw so much of myself in them, in that I really connected with my students because here I was teaching full-time. I had 3 children, and I was going to grad school. So I knew what some of these struggles were and how hard it was to try and sort of juggle it all. And I think that's what makes community colleges so unique. You know, they serve students from every walk of life, and they meet students where they are. And I have students, and this is one of the really great things about teaching at the community college, especially here in Northern Virginia, is that the diversity, I mean, and the different cultures. I have students this semester from all over the globe, like Ukraine and Honduras and Ethiopia. And you know, I think I learn more from them than they probably learn from me because they write about their lives and their stories, and they just add so much more richness to the classroom. So, you know, but when I started teaching at the community college, I realized that a lot of my students, especially women who were returning back to school, didn't have a lot of the support I had. And so I thought, geez, we have to have a women's mentoring group on campus. And I found that many of the women who came back maybe didn't have some of the skills in technology. So many of them had math anxiety, and they were, you know, just trying to juggle it all. So when I mentored these students, I felt like I was really making a difference. And Hillary, I don't know whether you know this, but some of these, you know, I especially taught this one woman who left her husband. She was abused. She was living in her car with her children. She got into a shelter. They saw how smart she was. They got her into the community college, and it changed her whole life. So I mentored her, and I helped her write an essay, and then she got into a 4-year college, and now she's an accountant, and she has this great life. And there's so many stories like that. I mean, there's just hundreds of them out there. They're just a place for people to get a second chance, or to advance the skills that they already have, or change careers. I mean, they really do so much. And I just can't say enough about them, as you probably can tell. So anyway, that's why I love teaching at community college.
And I love hearing you talk about it, Jill. It really, it warms my heart so much because it just is conveyed so clearly. And at the end, when you said it's really a second chance for so many people, and how they need a little bit of help and a little bit of support to be able to find themselves. I just love hearing you talk about it. And your experience, I think, goes right to the heart of why we are partnering with the community colleges in our country.
Well, like you said, we all need a little help sometimes. And you've seen that for yourself. I mean, you put 18 million cracks in the ultimate glass ceiling, but that comes with a lot of uncertainty and questions. So, Hillary, did you have mentors, and what were some of the lessons that you learned from your mentors?
Oh, I did. And honestly, I don't know how anybody gets through life, let alone education, without having people that can guide them, offer constructive criticism. One of my great mentors was one of my first bosses when I went to work for Marian Wright Edelman at the Children's Defense Fund. And, she really not only showed me the good that lawyers can do in trying to defend people, particularly children who often need some extra help to protect them against all kinds of challenges, but also how to do it as a wife and mother, someone who was, as you said, raising children while working, while trying to make a difference. And I can go all the way back to my sixth grade teacher, Mrs. King, who was so encouraging to me. And it's those memories of people who, they did their job. I mean, obviously, that's part of it. But more than that, they took an interest in the people they taught or that they worked with, and they went the extra bit to try to find out what could help that individual. And I think that kind of mentoring is so important, and it's important at all stages of our life. But, for me, obviously, I know that your education is never finished. I'm always learning new things. And in the world today, we have to keep learning or we'll fall behind. And as you rightly pointed out, some of the people that you were teaching needed some additional help with technology. And a lot of the jobs our economy needs most, and I'm going to put in a shameless plug and say what a great job your husband's administration is doing on employment. And I'm so proud of that. But some of the jobs that we're going to need haven't even been invented. And some of the jobs people are doing now weren't around 15 or 20 years ago. So as someone who's been involved with community colleges, how do we keep giving students the education so that they can get the skills they need as the workforce changes? And really, there's no better institution in our economy to do that than community colleges.
I agree with you. And I think one of the things, community colleges really have a major role to play in that. And I've traveled to so many community colleges and seen so many different programs, whether they're in clean energy or technology. And I was just at Intel, and actually the president of Intel went to a community college, and we connected right away. And here's his company. They're making computer chips, and he's hiring community college students. And, really, it's all about jobs. And so most of my students know that they will have jobs when they get out, because there's all these partnerships, and especially in the healthcare field. I mean, communities desperately need nurses and EMTs, especially during this pandemic, radiologists, ultrasound technicians. And so they all know that they will have jobs when they graduate. And that's what community colleges do best. And so there's so many different programs out there, and to help communities all across the country, no matter what field it's in. And I think go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've often thought that community colleges could be one of our best exports because it makes such a difference in our education system.
No, I agree with that. And, I traveled to several Latin and Southern American countries, and a lot of them are starting community colleges because a lot of their communities have some of the same needs that we have. And I love I love how Joe just gets all this and is putting so much money into workforce development. I have to give him my own plug, but but he hears it every night at the dinner table when I tell him what's going on and the kind of programs that we have. So anyway, but it's clearly something that you understand as well. And I was so excited to know that CGI U is partnering with community colleges this year and is working further to diversify its global community of student and alumni leaders. So I would love to know what excites you the most about the student leaders coming out of colleges throughout the world.
Oh, it's so wonderful to look back on the CGIUs that we've held. We used to, of course, hold them in person, which was really thrilling to actually meet students from all over the world. And then because of the pandemic, we had to move to virtual, but we've kept it going. And I have to say several things really stand out. I mean, it's a self-selected group. People hear about CGIU or maybe somebody recommends that they look at it. And so they say, hey, I'd like to do that because I have an idea or I want to meet people from everywhere across the globe. And so the students come often with some specific ideas. I mean, we always have some competitions around ideas for new businesses or new job creation. We have a coding contest that we give students a problem and how do they come up with some kind of technical way to address that problem. So I've just been so impressed at the level of curiosity and passion and interest and determination. It's really been wonderful to see them. And part of why we wanted to focus on community colleges this year is because, as you said earlier, a lot of people are going back to school. People,
yes.
Or they're coming into community colleges after taking time off or having a different set of experiences in the work world or in their personal life. And, we've got so many students who are hungry for an education and, frankly, for the kind of mentoring that you were talking about.
Yes.
So when I see our student body for CGIU, I'm so encouraged. And I know that our world will be in good hands if they get a chance to make their contributions. And we have hundreds and hundreds of students watching us in this conversation. And I want to underscore something you said, because I know some of them really related to the fact that, they face challenges, whether it's finding childcare or supporting their parents while they're going to school or working a job full time while they're also trying to get an education, but they have to pay the bills. And those challenges got so much more complex during COVID. And so the theme for this CGIU meeting is about building resilience. And, that's something that I think all of us have to learn in life over and over again, not just once. And you've been such a role model in so many ways for so many people. And for the students who are watching, do you have any advice or any message for students today coming out of a pandemic, coming into a lot of uncertainty, trying to make sense of all of it, about how they personally can find the resilience to keep themselves going despite whatever setbacks they face?
Well, this has been, such a tough year. And, my students honestly just inspire me every day. They've had to deal with things that really no other generation has had to deal with. And our world has just changed in so many ways that, heck, we don't really fully understand yet. But what we do know is, that you've made it this far, and that says, that's what I say to my students. You have such strength and grit. And I hope that, that you're proud of what you've accomplished, because I feel so proud of them. And there was a poet who once said, what matters most in life is how well you walk through the fire. So my message to the students is, sooner or later, we will all have to walk through the fire. And some of us will stumble and fall, and maybe we'll feel alone. But we're never alone. And sometimes people can't see that pain that hides behind your smile. But if we give them the chance, they can help us shoulder the weight of our lives. And I think that, we give our hearts in little ways, like the words we use, the conscious decisions we make to be present, the small acts of kindness. And sometimes I think the most courageous thing we can learn to do is lean on our communities. And I think that's what we give to each other. It's our vulnerability, our brokenness, and the chance to be someone else's strength in return. And I think that that's what community colleges are. They help students find their confidence and build their skills and feel like they're part of this big family that supports them, and they know that they can go out into the world and get great jobs and then in turn build better communities. So, I'll be back there in the classroom tomorrow and, helping them move forward. And like I said, Hillary, I can't say enough good things about the power of community colleges. So thanks for having me today.
Oh, thank you so very much. Honestly, that was such an incredible answer, and your students are so lucky to have you in the classroom. And I just think every student watching that answer is going to take something away because they are going to feel that they have the strength and ability to continue to pursue their own dreams. And I just can't thank you enough for joining us and sharing your experience and sharing your heart with all of the CGI students. You really are making a difference, and I'm thrilled that more people are going to be able to see and hear what you say and take that to their own hearts. So you make me more hopeful about our future.
Yeah, I hope so. They make me hopeful. My students make me hopeful. So thank you, Hillary, for focusing on community colleges. It'll make a real difference. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing. Our hearts and energy go with you, my friend.
Thanks. You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.